What is it like to be the change maker in a family system?
There were years of loneliness and separation, right? It's hard to be the first. It is even harder to be the only.
Whether you're looking for inspiration, guidance, or simply a moment of reflection, you're in the right place. This is Wisdom Stripes.
Hello and welcome to Wisdom Stripes. My name is Meg Tuohey, and in today's episode, we explore how lived experience, resilience, and strategic thinking can converge to create powerful transformation, not only in business but in life. Our guest today is Dr. Darnyelle Jervey Harmon, award-winning CEO of Incredible One Enterprises, a multi-million-dollar coaching and consulting brand that has helped thousands of business leaders shift from chaos to clarity, from hustle to grace, and from financial struggle to generational wealth. She's a powerhouse consultant, keynote speaker, and best-selling author of Move to Millions and host of Move to Millions podcast. Her journey from personal adversity and corporate highs to entrepreneurial success has equipped her with hard-won wisdom that blends strategy, spirit, and transformation. Today, we're diving into the lessons, pivots, and defining moments that shaped her into the business leader she is today. I'm honored to welcome Dr. Darnyelle to this episode of Wisdom Stripes, your no-nonsense, fierce fairy godmothers, turning pain and confusion into clarity and confidence. Now, we always begin with the same question. What wisdom would you like a listener to come away with today?
Well, first, let me just say I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And honestly, the wisdom that I would like listeners to come away with today is the realization that they've had the power all along.
Okay, so that is quite like the bumper sticker, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
It is.
And we know that when something is said as simply as that there is great wisdom that lies beyond it, because in order to be able to synthesize the data, to be able to say something that simply, you have to have walked through fire.
Oh, absolutely.
So could you talk with us about how you won that wisdom? How do you know that to be true? Where did it start? What is the journey? Please.
Absolutely. Oh, we could be here all day if I told the whole story. So we're going to tell the quick but intentional and transformational version of the story. So I am the product of two drug-addicted turned crack-addicted parents born in the projects of Wilmington, Delaware. I am child number 3, and middle children are invisible. And in order to be seen, to feel safe, and to be heard, we perform. We seek out achievement to get attention. And as a result, along the way, we become extremely resilient and very successful because we've learned how to do things that commemorate success and warrant the attention that we so desperately crave as middle children. I am one of 7, and of the 7 of us, of my mother's children, I'm the only to graduate from high school, go to college. I also have an MBA and an honorary doctorate degree. And the reason this is important to share is because part of my wisdom that I started to learn at a very young age, circa 10, which was 2 years after my mom went to jail during my 8th birthday party, was that there was purpose in my creation because I used to question whether or not I was supposed to be there. And so for me today, as the story has continued to unpack and unfold, it has been the realization that every single one of us is purposeful. Our creation is intentional, even when the people in our lives don't understand the significance of our presence. And so while I had many moments where my presence was questioned by adults, by siblings, one thing was always painstakingly clear and true, and I've consistently anchored into that, And that is that I am supposed to be here and that there's purpose for my life. And so when I say that I want the listeners to understand that they've had the power all along, I'm also telling myself I've had the power all along. And I am today at the point where I do not need self or outside validation because I know it to be true for myself. And I don't need anyone else to tell me how beautiful I am or how brilliant I am because I've done the work. I've created the connection with my divine source, which is God. And as a result of that, I can hold that truth to be self-evident. And because it is self-evident, I can project that out to help other people feel the same.
So when we have that relationship with self and God, perhaps they're two different ones, perhaps it's similar or the same.
I think it's the same.
Yeah, I felt that as I was saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps for a listener, it might be two or one, however it feels to you.
Yeah.
When you have that connection and you have built the pieces that were missing from the life that you were born into, the context that you arrived in, that as children we have no say in.
No say.
We get what we get,
Yeah.
and we can get upset, but also we get what we get.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear you've built your way out brick by brick, which means no one can take that away from you. You built it, you formed, you put infrastructure where there was none within yourself.
That's good.
Is that accurate?
It is very accurate. I feel seen.
Yeah.
I have done a lot of work. I believe that we have to work our inner game at 3 times the rate we work our outer game.
Yeah.
And so I spend a lot of time working on who I am on the inside and who I be and how I want to show up in the world, what space I want to take up. And so to hear you encapsulate it so beautifully, it makes me feel seen.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah.
My next question that I think our listeners would be leaning in to hear is, what was the hardest brick to build?
Wow. I've never been asked this question before. Wow. The hardest brick to build is still being built. And it is the realization that I am lovable. I have had an immense amount of evidence to the contrary show up in my life experience. And as I have decided, I think Emerson says it best, when you decide, all of the universe rearranges itself and conspires to bring you what you decided. And so as I have decided to believe, lean in, and to consider the willingness to allow myself to be lovable, evidence of that lovability has shown up. But I didn't wake up like this, right? And there are still days where I question and I have to remind myself, or I have to sift through and find the evidence that substantiates that I am in fact lovable. When you watch your mom taken away during your 8th birthday party, you tend to think that it's because of something you've done, right? When you go to live with your father and your stepmother and you overhear her on the phone telling her mother or her friends that she wished Jeannie, that's my mother's name, would come and get her kids, and you question your presence in that space, and if you are indeed lovable, it takes a lot of work to undo the evidence that substantiates the contrary. And I am a work in progress. I am today a very confident and self-assured woman, but every single speck of that makes up those bricks, I have built them through radically dismantling those blocks and those beliefs that have threatened everything that I wanted to be true in my life experience.
And not only did you put the bricks in, you dug up the clay, you molded the bricks, You baked the bricks.
Yeah.
You laid the bricks. You added the mortar.
Yeah.
And then you built it.
Absolutely.
I get it. I totally get it. You know, I feel called to speak out loud that when you're 8 years old, you're still in the concrete developmental stage,
Yeah.
which is very egocentric, which
Mhm.
is it's all about me. I can't really perspective take that well as a concrete aged
Yeah.
child, which means if something happens to me, it is my fault.
Yeah.
Or it is to do with me, even if I didn't directly do something.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense to me that you encoded in those early years that experience, and it was formative for you.
Mhm.
And particularly on a birthday,
Yeah.
it's like icing on a cake.
It is.
That you actually, nobody wants that cake.
Right, exactly.
But it is like icing
Yeah.
because it's your birthday. And if that happens on your birthday, what does that even more mean?
Correct.
So it would be reasonable to have a meaning assigned deep inside of yourself that this had something to do with you.
Mhm.
And so foundationally was that layered that to build your way out, it makes perfect sense to me that you are still working on that as a project.
Mhm. Yeah. Come a long way.
Of course you have.
But I also think that, as the saying goes, school is never out for the pro. Right. And my willingness to continue to do the work is a demonstration of my humility and my humanity.
Yeah.
You know?
I do know. And also, my wife, this is an emphatic finger, not a critical finger.
Okay.
And I get it when I feel quite emphatic, which
Okay.
I do right now. We have projects. I feel like every person has at least one big question they're trying to answer. And I do believe you don't get it done in your life. And so if this is yours, it is entirely reasonable that you are still working on it.
Yeah.
Because your age and stage, your seasons of life, they reveal different sides of the question that you're trying to answer, which is something every human has a version of.
Yeah.
And so will a listener identify with this particular thing? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
But the listener still has their version.
Absolutely. And if we think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we're all trying to answer one of three questions. Am I lovable? Am I worth it? Am I safe? Right? Which we could argue that they all really boil down to lovability or deservability, which is the question of our worthiness. And only when we question if we are loved and lovable do we simultaneously question our worth.
Do you feel like there's something about belonging in here too?
Absolutely. I think the three together, right? So safety, right?
Physical, emotional.
Right. Worthiness, lovability is absolutely, if you have those three, you feel like you belong.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's this is a bit crude, but I feel like we're building our infrastructure that we're going to play in. It's a bit in-group, out-group.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have those things, belonging, lovability, safety, there's another word you use. Thank you, worthiness. When you have access to that, you belong to a group of people. Probably. I think you have to.
Yeah.
And when you are missing one or more of those pillars, you have questions about whether you belong.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so you're more likely to be on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you're on the outside looking in, particularly in those formative years, you do have this sense of knowing that you are missing the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
You're missing the build. And therefore, in that child mind, you start to realize other people have a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to say, well, it must be something to do with me. They're having a different experience and I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got this brick you're working on, doing a great job. You've built the other bricks. You've got a very successful career.
Mm-hmm.
You've had a very tricky childhood with lots of opportunity for materials for alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like the way you put words together.
You do?
I do.
So when we're looking at adverse childhood experiences or teenage or even adult, we get these materials, the base materials we use in order to be able to grow. And so for me, when I hear a little bit about your background and I know a little bit about your current creation, they sort of match. They're like an inverse of each other, because in order to be able to make something, you've got to have the materials to be able to transform, to create the power to propel forward.
Correct.
So my question to you, with all of that in agreement, so you can tell me I'm wrong at any point because I'm very malleable. Okay. Then why? What are we making, and what's the point?
So for me specifically, the point is purpose. And the purpose is so important because when I think about all that I've been through and how I create and make an indelible mark on the world, it is ultimately so that I can help other people understand that nothing happened to me. I am nobody's victim. I am merely a vessel that has been used to demonstrate what is possible when you understand that nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. I wouldn't be able to stand on the stages that I've been blessed to grace. I wouldn't be able to impart and edify and live into the lives that I've been called to serve had I not had the experiences that brought me to this point and be willing to talk about them openly, transparently, and vulnerably in an effort to help someone else see and use my story and my path as a success roadmap to their own. And that is the work that I signed up to do, that my spirit, that my soul signed up to do before my mom and dad ever decided to get together to create me. And I am honored. I am grateful to be a vessel that has been chosen to do this work and to be a demonstration of what's possible, right? I mean, my story, the things that I've gone through are enough to make anybody's jaw drop. And yet here I am.
There are two words that are looping in my beautiful brain, because you did have that. You are that vessel. You did get dropped into that context, but you actually chose and decided every day to build your way out of it and live that purpose. And that is a very powerful piece of this conversation. Talk to us about deciding and choosing every day.
Yeah. Again, I think about that Emerson quote, once you decide, all of the universe rearranges itself. I believe that we all have the power of decision, right? I believe, and I say this often, that God will let us live on whatever level we settle for. And the level that we settle for doesn't have to be bad, but there's always more and better available. And we get to decide how we do life. Now, some of the decisions that we make come from what we were taught and what we caught from those who were rearing us, right? From birth to the age of 7, our conscious mind is formed based on every experience we take in. And many of that replicates and repeats itself over and over and over throughout our life from that moment forward. And even then, the indecision of allowing our subconscious mind to win instead of consciously choosing to do something different is a decision that we have the right to make at any particular point in time. So personally, knowing that I get to choose, knowing that whatever I choose is okay and it's going to work for my best and highest good in the time that has been designated for that to happen, that makes the power of decision all the more powerful, and all the more, what's the word I want to use? It creates all the more willingness for me to allow my decisions to shape the directions that I get to go in. Now, I was not always this awake and conscious to this power that I hold and that you hold. Most of us aren't. I think if you get knocked down enough and you get tired of being on the ground, you start to ask different questions and you start to consider different possibilities. And as a result of those things, you start to make different decisions. And so even the decision to be a victor and a vessel instead of a victim is in fact a decision, because I could equally choose to be walking through life as if it's the man's fault, whoever the man is, right? It's the economy's fault. It's whatever person's fault, whatever entity's fault. But the power to decide, and I think about in scripture, in Genesis, this is before there's even an Adam or an Eve, God says, let us make man in our image and likeness. And I decide that the image and likeness of God that I'm created in is what gives me the power and authority to take dominion over all things. And I exercise that power. I make the decision every single day to decide to be and dominate those things that are beneath me, because everything is beneath me because I was created in the image and likeness of God. And not beneath me in the, oh, you think you're better than, but beneath me in that I have the power to control these things and determine how these things show up in my life experience. And that is the power of making a decision, right? It's as conscious as deciding to put this on today to come and hang out with you.
I mean, you do look very beautiful.
Thank you very much. I've recently lost 50 pounds, and so I'm leaning into and getting used to my new body, and deciding that the work that I've done to make my health a priority in my life is equal enough to express over some of the other decisions that I've made.
I have a little segment that I wheel out from episode to episode. Depends on the vibes I'm getting. I think you're going to like it.
Okay, awesome.
It's called, I'm going to do it in an American accent because sometimes my Australian accent has my guests say, I'm sorry, what? So I'm going to try and speak a little American to you.
Okay.
Okay, it's called the year buts.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So here we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Can I do yeah, but my way now that you know what it is?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Because I can't hold the American accent. I can only hold it for a little minute. Okay. Yeah, but Darnyelle, you don't understand. I can't make those decisions like you. You're big and brave and strong, and maybe I'm just not as big and brave as you. Yeah, but Darnyelle, you don't understand. I come from such adversity that to survive is all I can do. I can't dream of the next thing. I've got to put food on the table. I've got to go line up and get food stamps. I've got to try and make sure my daughter can get to school today and I have no gas in the tank. Yeah, but Darnyelle, don't you understand that you have done it and I'm happy for you? But I can't. There's no one around me like you. There's no way I can see forward in my context. And I can see yours was difficult. I'm not saying it wasn't. I just think you're 1%. And I think I can't possibly get anywhere near that.
Yeah. I am sorry that you feel that way. Because the same power I wield, you could wield it too. It is a decision. And it sounds like you've decided that what your life is today is all that it will ever be. And you're entitled to make that decision. When my life was similar, because I've been on food stamps, I've been bankrupt, I've experienced many of the same things that you've experienced. I decided that I was worthy to do something different. And so I did. I have always believed that God will give you more when you're moving than he ever will if you stand still. And so I decided to take the first step I knew to take and to trust, as Rumi says, that the path would emerge as I walked it.
That's one of my favorites.
And guess what? It did.
Yeah, I love that quote.
It did.
I'm going to do one more yeah, but not because I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
I am. I just can feel some of the audience members who wish they could believe they had the power that you have.
Yeah.
Where they truly think, yeah, but I actually can't. I don't think I have that choice. It's dark in here. There is no light. And when I can see a flicker, something else then happens, and then I can't hold it.
But what if you could?
But
Are you willing to consider the possibility that you could? And are you willing to take the first step without thinking about the outcome? Are you willing to at least try? Because in the trying, we are often met with exactly what we didn't think we could do. Think about you talked about your children, and think about the very first time one of your children got up to walk. There was a thought, there was a decision that they could move faster if they were standing than if they were crawling. And they stood up and they started to move and they fell. But they didn't stay there. They got right back up again because they had at least enough possibility and hope that if they continued down this path, it would lead them to get to the space that they actually wanted to get to. So I submit to you, are you willing? There's a willingness and an allowance that you have to be open to. And if you're not, that's okay. I don't stand in the seat of judgment. I'm offering you an opportunity that you absolutely get to decide if you want to say yes to it or not. I promise you that if you do say yes, you will be met with more power than you thought you had, and you will be opened up to a new possibility that could begin to change your situation. It's not an overnight flip switch. It is a consistent effort, despite what you see, to believe that something better is available to you. And as you begin to walk that emerged path, more things start to show up. When you first started walking, you didn't realize that there was another grove that you could go into. And in that grove, there were apples and peaches, and there was sunshine and rainbows. Because all you saw was based on your previous experience, that if you continue down this path, you might see a flicker of light. Sometimes we just have to change our perspective and be open to the possibility that things could be different if we were at least willing to try.
That was such a beautiful answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey there, Meg Tuohey here with a quick and exciting announcement. As a psychologist, coach, and founder of the Wisdom Lab, I've had the privilege of helping thousands of individuals break free from the vicious cycles holding them back and tap into their infinite inner wisdom. If you're tired of feeling unheard, unseen, and stuck in the same old struggles, the Wisdom Lab is the breakthrough you've been yearning for. This on-demand program guides you through a powerful process to shatter emotional barriers, overcome deep-rooted blocks, and experience the profound transformation you deserve. In just 4 hours, you'll gain the tools and insights to revolutionize your life from the inside out. Want to learn more? Click or tap the link in the show notes for all the details. Okay, now back to the episode.
I'm switching tacks now. I think I heard you say 9 children on your mum's. 7 children on your mum's side, and you're the third. And you are the one that went to high school, college,
and have
MBA,
a master's,
and an honorary doctorate. And we've already done your impressive resume in the intro. What is it like to be the change maker in a family system?
Today, it is beautiful. There were years of ostracization and separation and loneliness, right? It's hard to be the first. It is even harder to be the only. Right? I do have a younger brother. So my mom and dad share 3 children. My mom has 7. My dad has 4. They share 3. So I have a younger brother on my father's side who has done, high school, college, many of the things, is also a millionaire. And when it was just me, I had to make a decision to protect myself and to protect my energy, because it is so much easier to judge and criticize than it is to celebrate and to hold space that what God makes happen for one is also possible for you, because he's no respecter of persons, right? And that's how I know, right? I know that if he could do it for me, the product of drug-addicted parents born in the projects, I know he could do anything. And we just have to have a little bit of help, a little bit of hope, a little bit of possibility ingrained in all of the pain that things could change, to be willing to walk into the possibility and to leave the pain behind. But I think a lot of people have become, what's the word I want to use? Reliant on the pain, because that's what gives them their identity.
Familiar.
Yeah. I am nothing but the story that I tell myself. And if my story is engrossed in all the things that have happened, and I am unwilling to see that something else could be possible, then my identity is that thing. And to shed that brings into question who I am. And I may be unwilling to consider that I could be anything other than all of the things that I've been through. And all of the adversity that I've overcome, and all of the pain that I've experienced, and all of the trauma bonds that I've created in this life. It is courageous to decide to unentangle from your trauma. It is so courageous.
It's a daily choice.
Oh, it's daily. Absolutely. Sometimes it's multiple times a day.
I was going to say that.
Sometimes it's at 10 a.m., it's at 1 p.m., it's at 4 p.m., it's at 7 p.m., right? Sometimes it's every few hours you are checking in and you are reminding yourself that you've made a different decision, because things will continue to show up that threaten to call into question what you now choose to believe, and want to remind you of all of the things that you've been through that have been your identity for so long.
So identity can be grown, and mindset can be shifted, beliefs can be updated, the inner experience can be changed, and the relationship with self and God can be strengthened.
Absolutely.
So all of those things I think we've covered in the 3 minutes we've been talking. So now I have a slightly different question.
Okay.
With that background, with all of the things in it, all of those adverse experiences, both childhood, teenagehood, early adulthood.
Yeah, even middle adulthood.
Anyway. All of those adverse experiences have created this fuel and this set of material, which we referenced before. What is the greatest gift that you've made out of this? And how has it served you?
Yes. Oh, the greatest gift is resilience. And the way that it serves me is that it's a constant reminder that no matter what has already transpired, something better is available and waiting in the wings to come into my life experience. It's the willingness to allow, right? So you start off in this place of fear and grief and powerlessness, the victimhood, and then eventually you vibrate high enough to get to the cravings and the desires that things might change. And if you keep vibrating, you land in the willingness to allow there to be the possibility that there could be something else. And that willingness is often enough to allow you to keep vibrating up to an awakening and an enlightenment and a realization that you have the power and you had it all along. All along. You know, we're all a form of Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, trying desperately to get back to home, to that space of lovability, worthiness, belonging, and safety. And it all rests and reside on the inside of us. And that's why when I said earlier, you have to work your inner game at 3 times the rate you work your outer game. You have to do the work. Intimacy is into me, I see. Being willing to challenge the beliefs and the blocks and radically dismantle them and release yourself from the paradigms that have kept you wherever you were once you get a glimpse that something else is possible and available to you. All we need is, just like the Bible says, we just need a mustard seed of faith. We need a mustard seed of vision. That's all we need. If we can see anyone else out there who has already done it, right? We think about the 4-minute mile and Roger Banneker. Like now, I mean, I don't even know how quickly they're running miles these days, but I know they're doing it in less than 4 minutes.
Do you know I used that example 2 days ago in Austin and I didn't know the name of the runner?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Once you know something's possible, then it becomes available as a possibility for you.
And all you need is the possibility. I have, like, my whole body is like one big ice cube right now, which tells me that God's presence is here right now. And this conversation is so ordained.
Yeah.
And many people are going to have the potential, the possibility to experience a life shift if they would just lean in a little bit to the possibility that it could be better. There's nothing inherently different about me than anyone else. I put my panties on one leg at a time, just like you. Just like you. If you cut me, I promise you I will bleed. I am just like you. I made different choices than you may have made. As a result, I've gotten a different reality so far.
Yeah. But you could decide, any one of our listeners could decide, right now is the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it literally is, and we're presented constantly with defining moments. Literally, we're always standing at a proverbial crossroad and going left or right is typically a split decision we make based on something that happens on the inside of us. And that decision could produce a wrong turn or it could produce the next level.
Oh, question though.
Yeah.
Is there ever a wrong turn?
No. No, because there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback.
Right. I love that. I often think about engineers and how their job is to find all the wrong things so that they know what doesn't work, so that they can find the thing that does work. And that when they find a failure point or a feedback point, it's not a negative.
Right.
But we assign a failure as a personality defect.
We do.
Yeah. And yet it's just a path that wasn't for us.
Yeah.
And maybe we need another go.
And even there's things that we learn. Right? You know, I'm a businesswoman and we have launches, and sometimes our launches do not produce 7 figures. And even when they don't, we find things that as a team we can tweak in order to launch better the next time.
Yes.
We don't like slit our wrist and take up our bags and run. Like, we don't say we're closing down the business because we didn't achieve whatever the goal was. We figure out how we can make it better the next time. And so it is with life. If it doesn't kill you, that means you have an opportunity to readjust.
Yep. Okay. So let's do because your power, palpable, beautiful, strong,
thank you,
kind, focused. Love it. And you are, in fact, in a human body, which means that you have the human experience where things don't work sometimes, where you have negative emotions that hurt, where you might feel helpless or hopeless or worried.
All of that.
You might feel anger or criticism or contempt. You might behave in ways that are away from the rest of the powerhouse that you are. Can we unpack, when you're in that human part of you that all of us have, can you unpack for us what you do when you're in that space, which is normal, and that the goal is not to have that. That is part of the journey of life. But can you talk to us about the very realness of being in a human body?
Yeah, I give myself grace.
How?
If I'm pissed the hell off, I'm pissed the hell off. And I am. And now I don't live there. I don't go pack a suitcase and come and stay for months on end, but I give myself permission to feel the emotions. I think as children, and I'm not sure, you know, the experience of growing up in Australia. So I'm going to speak from my experience. I remember being a little girl and being a little girl who was told that she should be seen and not heard.
Oh, same.
And I remember being a little girl that when I would cry for whatever the reason, my parent or even a guardian would say things like, "Stop crying or I will give you a reason to cry."
Same.
Okay. Which would then stifle my emotion.
Yeah, push that down.
Push it down. And here's the thing. I literally just said this to a client on a call this morning. It is honorable to emote. You are a human. And because we were raised this way and we were told we should not be emotional, we think that emotion is a sign of weakness. But what if it wasn't?
Mm-hmm.
What if emotion was a sign of your willingness to allow for God to come in and to change you and to shift you? What if? And so I allow myself to feel emotion. And I journal about it and I pray about it. And sometimes I tap about it, emotional freedom technique.
Yeah.
And sometimes I meditate on it. And sometimes I breathe about it. And sometimes I just scream at the top of my lungs. And sometimes I cuss. And sometimes I dance. And sometimes I go for a walk. And sometimes I eat my feelings, which is why I gained 50 pounds that I had to lose over this last year. I allow myself all of it. But it is a blip in time, and it is not a zip code that I moved to. But I allow myself to be human because my parents didn't let me.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't cry. Or they'd make me cry, which is like the dumbest thing ever. Like, do we ever stop and think about the things our parents say to us that we probably, without realizing it, say it to our children, for those of you who have children? Just dumb. But anyway. So I allow myself to be human and I give myself permission to feel all the things that I feel. And then once I've gotten it out of my system, I look at hindsight and I figure out how I can move beyond that, especially if it's a feeling I don't like to feel. I don't like to lose control. I don't like to cuss. But that won't stop me from doing it if I feel like that's the best way to express myself in that moment. Because if I keep it in my body, it becomes disease that turns into cancer or something else. But if I let it out into the world, it evaporates into the ethers and it's gone. And I'd much rather let it out there instead of keeping it in here because I don't want anything that I'm not supposed to have.
We've got to keep the energy moving. You know, emotion is energy in motion, right? So when we push it down, we block it. It doesn't doesn't finish its cycle.
It doesn't.
Yes. Okay. Curious minds want to know.
Okay.
Just we're doing a Yui.
Okay.
Do you have Yuis in America?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So we're
I made one on my way here.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, I like that for you.
I think it was illegal, but
you're about-
it was required.
Well, this one, you're about to do a second one,
Okay.
and maybe you can decide if it's illegal or
Okay.
not in a minute. So come with me as we turn this ship because I want to know about the thing that you've made in your life that you're most proud of. Or maybe the most meaningful.
What I am most proud of is who I am being at this very moment. I get emotional. I remember I heard someone say a few years ago, sometimes you just have to take a look over your shoulder and see where you've come from. And every time I do that, it produces emotion because that's what I'm most proud of. I mean, I'm a millionaire. I have money. I live in an amazing house. I run this amazing company. Those are not the things I'm most proud of. There are things that could go away at any minute. I'm most proud that Darnyelle Antoinette is a beautiful soul inside and out, and that I love myself enough to do my work internally, externally. That's what I'm most proud of.
I felt that. I had the ugly face shiver, you know, like those ones. I had one of those.
I've got my little, wipe my tears because I always know that they're coming or they have the potential to come, and I don't let them not come.
Yeah, because it's part of the emotion.
It's part of who I am.
It's the expressed.
Yeah.
And what if we might use this as a conversational moment, what if the very act of tuning into your past and letting yourself see where you've come from heals another bit when you allow yourself to cry?
Absolutely.
What if that process actually closes a loop?
I think it does. The Bible says that when you sow in tears, you reap in joy. Isn't that beautiful?
It's not just beautiful. That's got some magic.
Yes.
It's got some sparkle fingers, you know, like that has got unfathomable amount of wisdom in it.
Yeah. When I host live events and conferences, and we have tissues on the tables.
Yeah.
And when someone comes up to the microphone and they're asking a question or they're, expressing what has come up for them and they start to cry, the attendees want to shove tissues at them. And I always say, no, don't do that. you're trying to shove tissues at them because you're uncomfortable with their emotion. But their emotion is freeing them from something. It's releasing. It's breaking a chain that must be broken for them to go to their next level. So it is a beautiful expression to be so moved by something that it produces tears, because that is the pathway for you to experience the most immense amount of joy that is part of your birthright.
Darnyelle, I can't help but think we might have accidentally stumbled on a pattern of two things that look very different, that might have the same underpinnings in those two things we just talked about. Let's test this hypothesis.
Okay.
The analogy was you look over your shoulder and then you have the feeling of how far you've come, and the emotion comes and perhaps it heals you. And then the next story was beautiful also. You have people on stage, they're having emotions perhaps with a question they're asking, or another type of reason where the emotions are playing the role of completing their job. And people want to put the tissues so that they do something with the pain. To
stifle that emotion, yeah.
Or something to try and help, because often we feel helpless in the face of other people's feelings. Here's, I know it's a big preamble, but here it comes. What if both of those things are actually about witnessing and being witnessed for the feelings, for the experience, for the pain, and bringing that witnessing adds this level of anchoring into healing?
I could buy that. I could buy it as long as the person doing it is doing it not out of their own emotion and wanting to stop it because they don't want to be emotional, but instead allowing it to be a source of healing. I could buy that.
I can co-sign that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll sign that off with you.
Yeah.
I feel like when it's at its most purest form, that's what both of those things are. You are witnessing the growth of a part of you that has come so far. And on a stage, there's a whole room witnessing your growth. And you, as the person speaking into the microphone, are also kind of watching yourself make a full circle moment, which is why the tears are coming.
Right, it's the emotion. Yeah.
How powerful witnessing is.
That is very powerful. Again, I've got
Me too.
The chills all over.
Hang on a second. Wag your finger for emphasis. What if we're back at the beginning of this? What if the witnessing is about joining the in-group?
I like it.
Because you were on the out-group with your feelings and your loss. You grew yourself into someone that you could see the journey. So you reunited. So you are no longer on the outer, you're back on the inner.
Yeah.
Cue the feelings. You're on a stage with enough resonance to tell the story that makes you cry. You belong to the group who are trying to help you by giving you tissues.
It's a safe space.
They're trying to help by giving tissues. It's not quite the help that we're looking for, but they are trying to be of service. That's in group again.
It's community.
I love community.
Yeah.
Yeah. The work you do, it seems to have a big community.
It does.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Tell me.
I love my peeps. I do. They are amazing humans. They are, by and large, people of faith, and they are committed to being the first, but not the last in their families, of breaking generational curses, of healing traumas and wounds, and creating financial resource that shifts the wealth dynamic. They are amazing, and they do really, really powerful work. The lives that they are called to serve and to change. Yeah, they're like superheroes. They really are powerful, powerful, powerful people. And I am blessed to be in community with them, to lead them, to spend time with them, to pray for them, to hold space for them, to transform them. It's pretty amazing. I pinch myself often because I am so blessed to be who I am and to get to do what I get to do.
Do you feel like the kind of metaphor of pinching yourself, or the actual feeling of, I can't believe my life, it's magical, is because of the resonance of what God placed on your heart and the vessel that you are for the work that you do, that you've got the coherence? So your inside matches your outside, and it's that congruence that creates that feeling?
Part of it is definitely that, the congruence.
What else is it?
And part of it is feeling seen. I believe the best expression of a purpose fulfilled is doing the work. And as you do the work, others are experiencing the result you know is possible for them. And as a result of that, you know that you matter. Like, I don't need anyone to tell me, Darnyelle, you're amazing. You are brilliant. You are beautiful. I like it when they say those things, but I don't need it because I see it every single day when I look at the people that I serve. It is evidence. It is obvious. And even if and when they don't say, Darnyelle helped me do this, I don't need that. I know I helped them do it. And it's not the ego of me that just wants everybody to look at me. It's the work and knowing that I am facilitating a generational curse to be broken and a shift to be made, putting a marker in place that allows for this henceforth and evermore to be the path that their family will be on. It's purpose. It's Jeremiah 1:5, which says, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you and I approved you. God knew me and he approved me to do this work. And doing the work is just my thanking God for creating me. It's my reasonable service.
It is quite a complete sentence. And it's so perfectly complete. I'm just having a moment of speechlessness.
Yeah.
Yeah. That level of surety is so strong. It reminds me of your bricks that you made and you built, and then you stacked and then you shaped.
Yeah.
Is it a brick or is it another metaphor?
No, I like the brick. I am certain. I am 100% convinced fully in my mind that who I am and who I've been called to be is who I am being. And that is rippling through the earth. And in the time that is best for my highest good and the highest good of those that I'm called to. And as long as I am willing to be open and to allow, I will get to continue doing this work. And other people's lives will be changed. It is humbling and complete confidence at the same time. I actually define humility different than probably most people, because I think being humble is actually calling out your gifts so that other people know that you can help them. I think that squelching your brilliance, just like Marianne Williamson says in her poem, it doesn't serve anyone. And when you let your light shine, you unconsciously give others permission to do the same. And as you are liberated from your fears, your presence automatically liberates others. Like, I'm a liberator, I'm a disruptor. That I am a catalyst for the change that people experience just from opening my mouth and allowing the words that I love to string together to come out. I change people's lives, like literally. And I can say that to you in the most amazing humility and with the most powerful confidence at the same time, without apology, without justification, without equivocation, and unconcerned of if you think anything other than what I said when I said it. And it's because I know the power that I was given and I wield it every single day. I have been working for such a time as this to be this person, to do this level of work and to take up this amount of space, because I know that if I do, someone else out there, someone's going to watch this episode or listen to this episode, and they are going to have courage enough to lean into their confidence and their competence and their capability and expand their capacity to show up consistently so that they could do this for someone else. And it brings me joy and it produces tears.
Yeah. And we're just closing those loops, I think.
Yeah. And I just don't want my makeup to run on this camera. So that's why I keep dabbing it out of the way.
Your makeup actually is immaculate.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I will let you know. Okay. So I feel like you and I have opened a lot of circles and we've closed a lot of loops and we've taken some winding paths, but they've all kind of come together. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're at the good part of the show.
Okay.
So now we're just at ease.
Okay.
We're friends. We understand each other. We've got the lay of the land. The listeners are all relaxed. Mm-hmm. They've figured out me. They've figured out you. They've figured out the learning. They've acclimated to some of the suggestions. They're leaning in. They're opened. They're at ease too. Mm-hmm. And so now we gather on the back porch.
Okay.
You've got a beautiful drink. I've got a nice cup of tea. Okay. And it's a little crisp, so we've got some comfy cozies on. Okay. I am wearing some slippers.
Okay.
I have a shawl for you if you'd like them. You can wear whatever you feel comfortable in.
Yeah, I probably would be barefoot.
Yes, perfect. Okay. And so out we go onto the patio, and we're in a comfortable setting. And in that setting, we can relax into a chair that's got some good, soft, strong hold on us. We've got some blankets if we need them. And we're gathered. There's a group of us. Okay. And we're at ease. And listeners are leaning forward. It's that moment of the night where it's just before bed, but we're all alert and awake, and we can tell there's something left to be talked about. And that's the last question.
Okay.
What is it? What is the last piece of advice or wisdom you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah. You can do it. You are worthy of it. And you are fully deserving to bring it into your life experience. No matter what it is, no matter what it costs, no matter what you might have to sacrifice or even feel that you must surrender to have it, you deserve it and you should go get it.
You know, one of my favorite sayings is you don't dream of things that don't belong to you.
I love that.
So if you're dreaming of something, let us be the people with the lanterns on your path. Let the light that we have remind you of your dream and that your dream is exactly right. And if it's on your heart, you get to decide if you'd like to take a step forward. Yeah. And we are cheering for you.
Absolutely. And sometimes you just need permission.
Oh.
You cannot muster up the courage to give yourself permission.
Yeah.
So if that's you, we give you permission.
Full permission. There are no caveats.
No caveats.
Not even one.
Not one.
Is there any fine print?
No.
Is it just very straightforward?
You have permission.
And then my signature and your signature and today's date, which goes forward in perpetuity.
Right.
So there's no end to this?
There's no end.
So if you're listening to this in 10 years' time, is the permission still valid?
It's still valid.
100 years' time?
Yeah, it's still valid.
300?
It's still valid.
So I have another one. What if you're wondering with some of your yeah buts, but I don't know if I've got the power that you have. You can borrow ours.
Yeah.
You can borrow our certainty. You can borrow our cheering for you. You can listen to this episode every single day to remember who you are.
Absolutely.
Because who you are is divinely made. It is absolutely perfect. And if you are called to your dream, we invite you to take your first step.
That's it. Because all you need to do is take that first step. God will give you more while you're moving than he will if you stand still. So get moving.
That does feel complete, my friend.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you so much. I had the most wonderful conversation with you. Thank you for being a guest on Wisdom Stripes.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was so good and so different than any other conversation I've had. And I know that it is going to immensely bless. So I'm excited.
I think that's our heart for the work that we do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'd like to thank Dr. Darnyelle Jervey Harmon for joining me today on Wisdom Stripes. In today's episode, we explored her incredible journey from navigating early adversity, bankruptcy, and reinvention to building a transformational brand and guiding others to scale with grace. If you found value in today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. You can connect with Dr. Darnyelle at www.drdarnyelle.com and follow her journey across social media at Darnyelle Jervey Harmon. To stay connected with me, follow at Meg Tuohey Official on Instagram. Thank you for listening to another episode of Wisdom Stripes. I hope you gained a little wisdom today. My name is Meg Tuohey, and this is Wisdom Stripes. Thank you for listening to this episode of Wisdom Stripes. Follow me on @MegTuoheyOfficial and leave a comment and review. I'm looking forward to meeting you here next time on Wisdom Stripes.